Ladies and gentlemen, there's a clear rule in life. Don't let hubris write checks that your performance can't cash. Less than 3 months after sweeping back to power in Maharashtra, this ground reality has finally dawned on the Mahayuti government through its first annual budget. Its flagship Laad Ki Bahin Yojana, once pitched as a revolutionary step for women's welfare, is now facing a financial squeeze. Turns out that the government, having closely looked at its balance sheets, now has realized it simply is not in a position to give women in the state the 2,100 rupees that they had promised. So the budget for the scheme has been slashed from 46,000 crores to 36,000 crores for the upcoming fiscal year. Which means, despite the freebie being the #1 election promise, there will be no increase in the monthly payout. Women will continue to get the 1,500 rupees, but not the 2,100 rupees that was promised by the Mahayuti even in its manifesto. In their defense, the government says, we did say we will increase the dole, but we never said when. Listen in to what the Chief Minister had to say.
जहाँ तक लाडली बहन योजना का सवाल है, कोई पैसे कम नहीं किए, सबको पैसे मिलेंगे, पूरे पैसे मिलेंगे.
With 2.53 crore women depending on this scheme, this decision isn't just about numbers. It is about trust as well. Has the government let these women down? Or is this a necessary step to prevent Maharashtra's economy from spiraling into debt? It seems even the government is split on the answers to these questions, with the top leadership of the Mahayuti speaking in different voices. While one of Fadnavis's deputies, Eknath Shinde, insists that all promises made will be fulfilled, his other deputy, Ajit Pawar, already seems to be readying his exit clause by claiming that he personally never promised a 2,100 rupee payout in his election speeches. Naturally, the opposition has smelled blood. Listen in.
करोड़ का प्रावधान किया है, लेक लड़की लखपति दीदी हो, ड्रोन दीदी हो, महिला आत्मसम्मान हो, महिला को आत्मनिर्भर बनाना हो, किसने किया है? उन्होंने किया है.
मतलब पहले ही आपने झूठ कहा था, 46,000 इसके लिए खर्चा आएगा, वो तो किया नहीं. 2,100 रुपए तो दूर की बात, अभी 36,000. वोट तो सारे लिए ना आपने. फिर ऐसे कहना चाहिए था कि हम ये योजना फ्यूचर में करने वाले हैं, आप कभी आपका मन हो तो फ्यूचर में अभी वोट करना.
मेरा एक भी स्टेटमेंट निकालो, एक भी स्टेटमेंट कि मैंने ये वादा किया था. लेकिन महायुति सरकार ने महायुति वालों ने जो जाहिरनामा दिया था उसमें ये था, ये सही है. उसके बारे में हम सोचकर आगे जा रहे हैं.
Women hoping that from 1,500 they'll get 2,100. The other question I have asked is, what is the difference between women in Delhi and Maharashtra? In Maharashtra they've promised 2,100, in Delhi they've promised 2,500. Now we know that the BJP is Bharatiya Jumla Party.
I personally feel that be it BJP, be it NCP or be it Shiv Sena, all our assembly members have been elected with such a large margin. That means that our Ladli Behnas have given blessings to all our candidates, and that somewhere is creating an issue with the oppositions, and a huge provision of 36,000 crores have been made for this Ladli Bahin Yojana.
गुलाबी जैकेट पहनकर इन लोगों ने महाराष्ट्र में प्रचार किया, लाडली बहन करके इन्होंने लाडली बहन का वोट लिया, 2,100 रुपए का प्रॉमिस किया. अब पहला बजट में तो कम से कम ये दिखना चाहिए था ना. उनके लिए ये जो प्रोविजन करनी थी, ये बजट में कुछ नहीं दिखाई दिया. तो इसका मतलब स्पष्ट है कि इन्होंने बहनों के साथ में, लाडली बहनों के साथ में गद्दारी किया है.
But here's the big question. Did the Mahayuti government overpromise to secure votes only to now backtrack? Or is this a harsh reality check on the Revdi model in general, where massive welfare schemes will hit a wall once the finances inevitably will run dry? We've seen it happen in Punjab, now in Maharashtra. Will we see the same soon in Karnataka as well, Delhi as well? Let's debate who's really paying the price for these promises. My guests this evening, I thank them all. Ali Daruwala, spokesperson of the BJP. Krishna Hegde, national spokesperson of the Shiv Sena. Thank you very much. From the Shinde faction, may I add. Anish Gawande is national spokesperson of the NCP from the Sharad Pawar faction. Thank you very much. And Shivanand Hulyakar is a spokesperson for the Congress party joining us on the broadcast. So this panel is evenly divided. And for obvious reasons, Ali Daruwala, I'm coming to you first, as I usually do. Though I get accused of not giving BJP spokespersons enough time. Ali Daruwala, जो वादा किया वो तो निभाना पड़ेगा. Otherwise you will be called a धोखेबाज, like the opposition today is calling you. जब पैसे नहीं थे और आपको पहले से पता था that you don't have the finances for लाड की बहन, then why did you promise 2100 rupees? This was after all your flagship scheme.
Shreya, I'd just like to ask you firstly, good evening to all the panelists. Good evening to you. Firstly, can you even at least on the screen admit, haven't we given the 1500 rupees till the March? If you just agree with that, can I proceed? Correct. Now I'll tell you one thing. 2100 rupees, that what we are saying, is starting from the fiscal year April 2025. We have to make a supplementary provision for this, which will happen in the apparent months to come. And we are not backtracking on our budget. Just because they did not see the allocation in the budget today, that doesn't mean we have backtracked. Definitely, we did not make the allocations now because we had to adhere to a regulatory board management. It's called the disciplinary board, where we cannot exceed more than 3% of the fiscal deficit, which is the total left in legacy to us from the previous government. Nevertheless, I can assure you on your prestigious channel, though I'm a very small man in compared to Devendra Fadnavis ji, Devendra ji has said, I keep my promises. Eknath Shinde was fearful. And now to add and to make the hand stronger, 2100 rupees that we have promised, it may come a month or 2 months late. In addition to 1500 rupees, whatever the shortfall of 500-600 rupees is going to be topped up. When it is going to be topped up, when the supplementary budget is passed, when the provision is made, even that will be given. Shreya, you can take my word on it. Yes, Sarkar is a Sarkar with a difference. We are a different government and we stick to our commitments.
ठीक है. तो दारूवाला जी मुझे अब ये बात बताइए that who's the finance minister of the state of Maharashtra? It's a man called Ajit Pawar.
Yeah.
Ajit Pawar, when he was asked today, said, I never said. Exactly. I never said that the dole will go up from 1500 rupees to 2100 rupees. Not once in my election speech have I said that. So you are sitting here and telling me, no, don't worry. Sometime in the future, it will go up from 1500 rupees to 2100 rupees as was promised in our election manifesto. But here's your deputy chief minister, number 2, Ajit Pawar, also the finance minister of the state, saying, I never said.
Yeah, Shreya. Just answering to that, it's so funny. Either in your studio, in your company, you know the management, the finance people, they are very tight-fisted. You have to convince them, run behind them to increase the salaries, to get the money out. And it is the work of the finance department to withhold the money. They have to manage everything. They have to make the provisions. Now, this too, our CM and our deputy CM are behind Ajit Pawar ji, and they will get their way out. Because Ladki Bahin Yojana was the game changer. And that is why here we are today in the ruling and not in the opposition today. And we will not let it go down the drain. Rest assured, the money will come. But a month or 2 months late, it will come. Even after the election, when the Achar Sahita was there, election code of conduct, 2 months ka paisa we put in the account just 10 days back. You can confirm it with our voters and the common public, ma'am.
Anish Gawande, therefore, how do you respond as the national spokesperson of the NCP? Essentially, Mr. Daruwala is saying, why are you making all this bawal? Paisa mil jayega. It will come sometime in the future, but it will come. We will keep our promise.
Good evening, Shreya. It's very good to be on your show, and hello to everyone else as well. I want to say that the reality today is that the government is saying, amount hum badhayenge, par tarikh nahi batayenge. And this has been the case with this government for a very long time. You know, when a deputy chief minister goes on air and says, I never said this, but the manifesto has said something that he does not acknowledge, that shows a complete lack of coordination and cohesion between alliance partners. We said this before the election as well. This is an alliance without an agenda. This is an alliance without a game plan. And this is an alliance that does not talk to each other. You know, in that manifesto as well was a farm loan waiver. Where is the provision for that farm loan waiver in this budget? In that alliance was also a promise for the Shiv Bhojan Thali Yojana. Where is that Shiv Bhojan Thali Yojana's provision in this budget? In fact, you've seen the fiscal deficit increase from around 25,000 crores or 20,000 crores to 46,000 crores. You've seen this amount for the Ladki Bahin Yojana being slashed. Let me please reiterate over here that the amount for the Ladki Bahin Yojana has been slashed by 10,000 crore rupees. What does that mean logically? That 10,000 crore rupees worth of beneficiaries will have to be removed from this list. That process has already begun. This government, which promised that no beneficiary of the Ladki Bahin Yojana will be denied this payout, is now hacking away at that list because they've realized they've made promises they can't keep. Now, as a responsible opposition, I don't want to play politics with the economy. The reality is that the economy doing badly affects me and you as much as it affects anybody else. And so we want the government to sit with the opposition, discuss, deliberate. You know, today Jayant Patil ji's speech in the Vidhan Sabha is an excellent example of what a responsible opposition looks like. He's reiterated and highlighted, and he's been a finance minister himself before. The government must be prudent while making promises and delivering upon them. And we only hope that they take our considerations into account, because you cannot treat the opposition like your enemy anymore when the financial state of your state is in this condition.
Would you want to come in here, Krishna Hegde, national spokesperson of the Shiv Sena? There's been a rumor going around in Maharashtra, something that our dear friend Anish Gawande is speaking about as well, that right now in the Mantralaya, there is a concerted effort by all Babus to somehow try and reduce the number of beneficiaries in the Ladki Bahin Yojana. पैसे हैं नहीं देने के लिए. Promise कर दिया है that 2100 rupees will be given. So how do you manage to give 2100 rupees in this 36,000 rupees that you have allocated for the Yojana? So what will happen is that the list will be cut down by say 25% or 30%. जब पैसा नहीं था, Mr. Hegde, why was the promise made? It's not like you were not aware of the state of Maharashtra's finances.
Yeah, let me tell you, this is a working government and a responsible government. And this is not a Facebook live government like the last time. This government has made budget allocation for women and child welfare, for energy, for agriculture, for industry, for health, for rural development, for urban development, for everything. But the biggest budget outlay is for Ladki Behna, which is obvious. And therefore, not a single lady who is eligible and is not taking a double beneficiary from other scheme will be excluded. Now, I'll give you an example. If, a household has a mother-in-law, daughter and a daughter-in-law, and they are getting 4,500 rupees per month, I think it's a good number for them. And we will not deprive any of our Ladki Behnas of this money. It is only that the 2,100, that is the 600 rupees extra, which has been assured in the manifesto, it will be given as the fiscal balance is maintained. And that is what the Honorable Chief Minister has said. We have never said that we are not going to give them the money. However, those who are having double benefits or having income over the, I think it's 2.5 lakh rupees annually combined income. Those who are having income over 2.5 lakh rupees, they have to be excluded from the list. And therefore, I think this is a government which is working for the people. And we will continue to work for our Ladki Behnas, and there is no two ways about it. Secondly, let me tell you that whatever the budget has allocated today and whatever is there in the manifesto, if you are looking at Maharashtra going into a $2 trillion economy, we have the resources to do that. We are a huge state. And Aditya Thackeray was comparing Delhi with Maharashtra. Delhi's population is 1.75 crores. And Aditya Thackeray ji should know better that Maharashtra's population is 13 crores. So there's a huge difference in that. Where he's comparing, Maharashtra and Delhi, I think that is one of the most funny things to compare. And I think Maharashtra government is working for the people.
Krishna
we are
Hegde ji.
committed to the people and we will work for the people. That is what I want to say. Even today with housing, we have
Here's the
allocated
point,
money.
Hegde ji.
Water resources, we have allocated
you have said
money.
a lot.
Agriculture, we have... Yeah, tell me.
Nimni, Mr. Hegde, of course, what the government does, I mean, not all that the government does is wrong, right? The government gets it right as well, whether it's at the center or various state levels. Obviously, they are doing something right as well. But Mr. Krishna Hegde, my simple question to you, and I'm just going to stick to the point of this debate this evening is, where is the 2100 rupees? 2 days ago, on Women's Day, 1.27 crore women got money under the Ladki Bahin Yojana. It was 1500. They were told they will get 2100. Now you're saying fiscal balancing will be done. Sometime in the future, we will give the money. In one line, this is dhoka, no? The BJP and all, all other parties,
Shreya,
when the Aam Aadmi Party failed to give money, failed to give the promised money to, women in Punjab. The Aam Aadmi Party spectacularly failed. They made a promise of giving money, monthly money to women in Punjab. They couldn't do it because they simply didn't have the money. The BJP and you and the others went after them.
Punjab to Maharashtra,
and said, dhoka, dhoka, dhoka.
Which holds the biggest economy in the country.
Now, why should we not say that this is dhoka being played upon the women of Maharashtra?
And there is no dhoka because since we started the scheme in June, we have paid not only every installment, but at a point we have even paid, extra on Diwali and other festivals. So therefore, there is no question of dhoka. Even our, Behnas understand that we are working hard for them. We are also facing a crunch, suppose, in budgetary allocations. And if we are supposed to do something in the future, we'll definitely do it. It is part of the manifesto of the Mahayuti. And obviously, we will honor the Mahayuti manifesto. It is only a matter of time. It's whether, like Mr. Daruwala said, if there is a supplementary budget, it could be 2 months, it could be 6 months. But we are not saying no to this.
Okay, you are saying you're not saying no to this. You're also admitting that it was in your unified manifesto, which means manifesto that the three parties, the Mahayuti parties came together and put out. Number one was Ladki Bahin Yojana. But today your Deputy Chief Minister, Ajit Pawar, also the Finance Minister, is saying, मैंने तो कभी बोला ही नहीं था. Take out one speech and tell me where I had said that I will give 2100 rupees to all women in Maharashtra.
This is Ajit Pawarji's 13th budget, possibly consecutive budget. And he is a matured leader and he knows when to allocate the money and how he'll allocate the money. Similarly, Devendra Fadnavis is also a master in numbers, and Eknath Shinde ji also is an extremely well-mannered, well-concerned person. And I'm sure these three leaders will come together, put their heads across. You should praise the government for actually bringing out this scheme.
You're very good at numbers, but ये 1 2 का 4 है.
No, the Mahayuti government has at least got a scheme which benefits, which benefits 2.5 crore ladies. It is the Maha Vikas Agadi who doubled this and said, we'll give 2,500 and 3,000 without even applying the heads. We are not a government which does not apply a head. When it comes to applying a head and squeezing out the numbers, we will give exactly what the state can afford. And we don't want a Diwala at Maharashtra. We will generate the money for the state and we will definitely give the Ladki Bahinas.
Acha. ठीक है. Okay, Shivanand ji, will you want to come in here? Essentially, the argument being made by the ruling dispensation is we don't have the money now, but we will generate the money. And once we have the money, we will give it to our Ladli Bahins. And for the moment, our Ladli Bahins understand that we are in a difficult situation. And for heaven's sake, don't compare Punjab to Maharashtra. कि पंजाब में तो 1 रुपया भी नहीं दिया प्रॉमिस करके. एटलीस्ट वी आर गिविंग 1500 रुपीस. और दिल्ली
डीजीपी जुमला पार्टी देश के पंतप्रधान नरेंद्र मोदी जी 2 करोड़ नौकरी का वो भी जुमला ही था. 15 लाख अकाउंट में देने वाला तो वो भी जुमला था. दूसरी बात यही देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी, अजित दादा पवार जी और एकनाथ शिंदे जी जिस तरह से लोगों को 14 करोड़ लोगों को, महाराष्ट्र जनता को इन्होंने सब जुमला बना दिया है. लाडकी बहन योजना इन्होंने पहला सब लोगों को दिया स्टार्टिंग में इलेक्शन के टाइम. सब फेक प्रॉमिस किया मैनिफेस्टो में. इन्होंने 2100 रुपए का इन्होंने फेक बताया. उसमें से 50% लोगों का डिलीट भी कर दिया वो लोगों ने. सिर्फ 50% है. ये भी मेरे को लगता है 1-2 महीने में ये भी बंद हो जाएगा लाडकी बहन योजना. दूसरी बात, यहाँ का सब बिजनेस गुजरात जा रहे हैं. वेदांता हो, स्टील हो, हेल्थ के बारे में कुछ सोचा नहीं है, सीनियर सिटीजन के बारे में नहीं, फार्मर के बारे में नहीं, एजुकेशन के बारे में नहीं, बेरोजगार इन्होंने बोला था 25 लाख लोगों को हम 5 साल में रोजगार देंगे। और अजीत दादा के बजट में आज जो है जुमला बजट में इन्होंने 90,000 जॉब देने के लिए बोला हर साल। अगर 5 साल में कितना होगा आप देखिए, 45 कैसा 25 लाख होगा बताइए, 5 लाख भी नहीं होगा। इस तरह से बीजेपी, ये जो देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी, अजीत दादा पवार जी, एकनाथ शिंदे जी जिस तरह से इलेक्शन घपला करके जो मशीन में ईवीएम हैक करके, ये गवर्नमेंट जुमला गवर्नमेंट है, इतना बहुत दिन नहीं टिकेगा। ईडी, सीबीआई, इनकम टैक्स मिसयूज करके ये गवर्नमेंट आए हुए हैं, और ईवीएम के जिस तरह से आज भी किसी का भी बात नहीं सुनना है, कोर्ट सब अपना ही बीजेपी का एक टेस्ट टू बीबी बना के रखा है, ईडी, सीबीआई, इनकम टैक्स। मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ बीजेपी प्रवक्ता को, मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ एकनाथ शिंदे जी, मेरे मित्र कृष्णा हेगड़े जी को मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ महाराष्ट्र जनता के बारे में। लाडकी बहन योजना, शिव भोजन, गरीब लोगों को खाना मिलता था, वो भी उन्होंने छगन भुजबल जी शिव भोजन योजना स्टार्ट किया था, वो भी बंद कर दिया। गरीबों के बारे में क्या सोचे, डेवलपमेंट के बारे में क्या है, यहाँ का सब उद्योग धंधा व्यवसाय गुजरात को चले गए, ये लोगों ने क्या किया? कुछ भी नहीं किया।
शिवानंद जी, द पॉइंट इज, देखिए आप बीजेपी को जुमला पार्टी बोल रहे हैं, जनता के लिए तो आप सब पार्टी जुमला पार्टी हैं। आपने तो इससे भी बड़ी बात बोल दी थी, आपने तो बोला था कि आप 2500 रुपए देंगे महिलाओं को इफ यू आर वोटेड टू पावर।
आज भी
बीजेपी और महायुति ने तो फिर भी 2100 बोला था।
देखिए आज भी
नहीं सर, मैं ये कह रही हूँ कि विमेन ऑफ महाराष्ट्र trusted the BJP with 2100 rupees but didn't trust you with 2500 rupees ना, तो they didn't trust your जुमला also। ये भी बात सच है ना? आप पे भरोसा नहीं किया, भरोसा उन्होंने महायुति पे किया।
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है। इन्होंने इलेक्शन के जिस दिन वोटिंग हुआ 5 बजे 58% था, और 11:30 बजे इनका 61 हुआ, और दूसरा दिन 3:30 बजे 68% हुआ। 39 लाख वोटिंग बढ़ा दिया, वो भी 4 मंथ में। 5 ईयर में कभी भी वोटिंग नहीं बढ़ा। इसलिए जुमला सरकार है, ऐसे लोगों को जुमला बताने का देश के पंतप्रधान नरेंद्र मोदी जी, महाराष्ट्र के सीएम देवेंद्र जी, इनका काम ही यही है, लोगों को गुमराह करना, लोगों को फेक। अभी कोई भी इलेक्शन नहीं है सामने। आज देखिए, अगर इनके अगर दम है तो बीएमसी इलेक्शन लेके दिखाइए। पुणे में इलेक्शन म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन का नहीं लिया, नागपुर म्युनिसिपल, लातूर देखिए, औरंगाबाद, कोल्हापुर, सांगली, जिला परिषद, पंचायत समिति, क्यों नहीं ले रहे इलेक्शन? ये डरे हुए हैं सब इन्होंने। आप सीढ़ी में देखिए 7 लाख वोटिंग एक ही बिल्डिंग में वोटिंग बढ़ा दिया। इस बारे में कोई भी बात नहीं कर रहे।
रुकिए, अरे भाई, जो इलेक्शन चला गया वो चला गया ना, अब आप बोलते रहिए वो नहीं हुआ है। बट अली दारूवाला, आई थिंक यू वांट टू मेक अ पॉइंट, आई कैन सी यू रेजिंग योर,
इसलिए उन्होंने
समझ गए,
लाडकी बहन योजना उन्होंने बंद कर दिया। 21 रुपए का फेक जुमला था, 1500
अली दारूवाला, essentially the Congress spokesperson is saying you are hoodwinking the women of Maharashtra because there is no election. If 3 months down the line there was an election, say a general election, 2100 क्या 2500 भी आ गए होते अकाउंट में।
No, Shreya, just setting the record right, what this Congress spokesperson was saying, with all due respect to him, he seems to have forgotten that 80 crore citizens in that Maharashtra, we have 12 crore. Out of that, 6 crore are below poverty line, who are getting the monthly food benefit, which we had started at the time of COVID, that has not been discontinued. Point number 1. Point number 2, LPG cylinder, gas cylinder has been slashed from 1200 rupees to 800 rupees now. That he doesn't seem to see. Now, what very important, just 10 days back, when Honorable Amit Shah ji was in Maharashtra, we have given 50,000 shelterless people homes in Maharashtra, which he has missed to see. Nevertheless, there is water in every taps. I will tell you, 2.53 crore women are getting 1,500 rupees a month, which has never stopped. It was only stopped for 1 month of that Achar Sahita, election code of conduct. That money has gone. There are around 6 to 5 women in a family who are getting 10 to 12,000 rupees by way of Ladki Bahin Yojana into their account, which is a sizable and a respectable amount. That is the least what we can do for our sisters. Let us not stop there. At Jan Dhan Yojana, we are giving 10,000 rupees to women entrepreneurs or any woman, right from a bhaji thela if she wants to put, or even a bhaji stall or tea stall, without interest, without even collateral. That is what is being doled out, which he seemed to miss. Nevertheless, let us not stop there. In self-help group, we are giving interest 1%, 2% interest to women who want to start entrepreneurship. When we say we want to see our Ladki Bahin Lakpati, it is something with total honesty and imandari. If he seems to miss and if he thinks that BJP is a Jumla
Okay.
party and he still wants to go on with the old thing, people have rejected them. The 32 lakh voters that have increased in Maharashtra on the day of voting is the hard work of the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. Their names were missing. We just made sure they got out of
Okay.
their house. Their names were there in the electoral, and that is how we have won, and not by any Jumla. It's high time they should stop. And Shreya, back to the studio. These are the factual figures. 32,000 crores
Thank
given
you.
to child and women development
Anish.
in Maharashtra, which is directly going to go into
No,
their account by way of welfare schemes.
while we are arguing here about freebies and doles, my personal position is that this is a drain on the country. This is disastrous.
I
What
agree
political
with you.
parties, whether it's
I
you or
agree.
whether it's the opposition, are doing and promising
agree, Shreya. I do
is
not disagree
catastrophic
with
for
you.
this country. This
100%.
Revedi culture, this freebie culture,
It's
yet all
not
of you
run
do it.
this
So I
way.
have a principal problem against it. But Anish
Well,
Gawande,
I'm agreeing
yeah,
with you.
so,
I
so
totally agree
even
with
if
you.
you give
But
0
what
rupees
do we
into the
do
accounts of women,
when
I
we
don't
have
care.
a
I think that's
country
a
with
good
80
thing.
crore
But my
people
only
below
point
poverty
is that you
line,
promised
and we
20,
need to run this
2100
country. We
and
are
you're giving
looking out for
1500. You
Elon
knew
Musk,
exactly
who
what the
comes up
reality of
with a
Maharashtra's
product where
budget
our
was.
country gets out of fiscal deficit. We go into profit. We are looking out. We are screaming. We need to come out. We have to become self-reliant. We do not need to buy products from abroad. We need to sell products. We want to make this government, this country, this citizens into the producer of the world rather than importer of the world. We are going. It's a Herculean task. Modi ji, Amit Shah,
हो
Yogi
गया.
ji, Devendra Fadnavis are working on it. Yeah,
I
Shreya,
want to
back
come
to
in
you.
here
Okay.
just for a
Anish
second
Gawande.
because I respect very much. I respect very much what my dear friends Krishna Hegde and Ali Daruwala have said. And what I think they've admitted today is valuable. I think they've said that we are facing a crunch in Maharashtra. There is a challenge on the economy. And in the previous year, Shreya, the Maharashtra budget was a budget that the country used to watch. Because what Maharashtra thinks today, India thinks tomorrow. It was a budget that spoke about the global uncertainties in the country. It was a budget that acknowledged the challenges we're facing today. But today, what is that budget giving us? It's giving us an increase in stamp duty. It's giving us an increase in four-wheeler prices. It's giving us these promises that have no roadmap for their fulfillment. And it's refusing to acknowledge that there is a crisis at hand. There is a challenge and that we need to sit together and solve it. You know, I respect the schemes that the government has brought in, but we cannot keep making headlines that pretend that everything is hunky-dory. We're not saying that everything the government does is bad. We're not saying that just because they can't increase the Ladki Bahin Yojana to 2,100 rupees, that they're a terrible government and they deserve to be thrown out of power. What we are saying is if you can't increase it to 2,100 rupees, that means your financial management has failed. That means that somewhere there is a problem and we have to sit together and solve this. Because if we solve this, then we will develop as a country. If we continue raising slogans for one party or the other and praising one government scheme or putting it against the other, then we're going to go nowhere.
You know, Maharashtra's budget size has reached 7 lakh crore rupees. 7 lakh crore rupees. This is the largest budget in the country after Uttar Pradesh. Yes, expense. And yet, the government is acknowledging that right now it is not in a fiscal position to deliver on its #1 poll promise. I just hope, ladies and gentlemen, beyond anything else, that this is a reality check on our Revedi culture. We leave it at that. Will it change anything? I doubt it. But I do think that all of us as viewers need to keep in mind that Revedi culture, the freebie culture, is not good for this country. We don't have the money for it. We need the money for better things, not to dole out cash to cultivate vote banks. We'll just leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Anish Gawande, thank you for joining us. Shivananji, thank you very much. Namaskar. Krishna Hegde, thank you very much. Good to have you on the show. And Ali Daruwala, always good to have you on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'm slipping into a break.